So today we'll be considering probability. And when we say probability, probability is the likelihood of an event happening or occurring. How likely or how possible it is for an event to occur is what we call the probability of the event. So when take for example, if there is a situation, maybe there is as we are preparing for exam now, if you are asked what is the probability or what are the chances available for a student to pass the exam, that is probability. So here we'll be considering the mathematical aspect. So in probability, if I say p bracket of a, something like this, it means that the probability that event A will occur. So that is the meaning. P of A like this means probability that event A will occur. So mathematically, we define probability of A, that's probability that A will occur, as number of required outcomes over number of possible outcomes. So what we are trying to say is probability of an event is always a fraction. We have a numerator, we have a denominator. The numerator here is the required outcomes, while the denominator is the possible outcomes. Let me give an example on this to illustrate this. For example, in a class of 12 boys and 15 girls, we have a class of 12 boys and 15 girls. So how many students are we going to have in the class altogether? We are going to have 27 students. In total, we have 27 students. Are you with me? So that represents the possible outcomes. So we have 27 students in total. Find the probability that the student is a boy. If one student is selected, find the probability that the student is a boy. So we are looking for the probability that the student is a boy. So probability that the student is a boy will be equals to how many boys do we have in the class? We have 12 boys. So that will be 12 over how many students do we have in total? We have 27 students. So the required outcome here is 12, the number of boys in the class. Then the possible outcome here is the total or number of students in the class. So the probability that the student selected is a boy will be 12 over 27. And when we reduce this, we are going to have 4 over 9. I believe you understand that. Now the second question says, what is the probability that the student is a girl? Probability that the student is a girl will be equals to how many girls do we have in the class? We have 15 girls. 15 girls in the class over how many students in total? 27. So this will give us what? When we reduce this, that's 15 over 27. When we reduce this, we have 5 over 9. So the probability that the student selected is a boy is 12 over 27. That means we have 12 boys out of 27 students. Then girls, 15 girls out of 27 students. So when we reduce the fraction to the simplest form, for the probability of a boy, we have 4 over 9. Then probability of a girl, we have 5 over 9. I believe you understand. Now in a probability question, we have what we call sample space. So you must know, or you must be able to write the sample space of any question that deals with probability. So here I will give probabilities, the sample space of some common events or questions that are usually asked. And here, when we say sample space, what does sample space means? Sample space shows all the possible events of a situation. All events that are possible in a situation is what we call the sample space. Let's look at this for example. In a toss of a coin has two sides. We call one side, a coin is just a circular object like this. So one of the side is called the head. while the other side is called the tail. One of the side is called the head, while the other side is called the tail. Are you with me? So for a coin, I said a coin has the head and the tail, just a circular object. So let me show you that here. So this is a coin. This is the head, then this is one side, then the other side we have the tail. So this is the other side of the coin. So in a coin, two events are possible. One is the head, the other is the tail. So these are the two events that are possible in a coin. So in a coin, the sample space, all possible events is 2. So if I ask what's the probability of, if a coin is being tossed, what's the probability that it is head? How many head do we have? We have 1, so that will be 1 over how many events are possible in total? 2, so that will be 1 over 2. So probability of having a head in a toss of a coin is 1 over 2. Then what of a tail? We also have 1 tail, so that will be 1 over, in total we have 2. So in a toss of a coin, the probability of having a head is 1 over 2, and the probability of having a tail is 1 over 4. I believe you understand that. 1 over 2 rather. Probability of having a head is 1 over 2. Probability of having a tail is 1 over 2. So we also have 2 for a die. A die is just a cubical object that is used to play the game called Ludo. So this is a die. The die has 6 faces. 1, this is 1 here. 2, 5, this is 6, this is 4, this is 3. So a die has 6 faces. Each of the face has a number of dots. Like this side has 1 dot, that is 1. This side has 2 dots, that is 2. This side has 3 dots, that is 3. 4, and like that. So all the possible events are in a throw of a die are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in total, how many events are possible? That is 6 events. So if a die is being thrown, what is the probability that we are going to have 1? How many 1 do we have? What's the probability that we are going to have a 1? In a die, how many 1 do we have? We have just 1 over how many in total? 6. So the probability of having a 1 is 1 over 6. Okay, what's probability of having a 4? How many 4 do we have? We also have 1. Only 1 4. So that will be 1 over 6. So in a single throw of a die, probability of having a 1 is 1 over 6. That's because we have only 1 1. What's probability of having a 2? How many 2 do we have? We have 1. So that will be 1 over 6. So probability of having each of those events will be 1 over 6. So probability of having a 1 is 1 over 6. Probability of having a 2 is 1 over 6. Probability of having a 3 is 1 over 6. Probability of having a 4 is 1 over 6. Probability of having a 5 is 1 over 6. Probability of having a 6 is also 1 over 6. So each of those events will be 1 over 6. So in a coin, the possible events are head and tail, while in a die, the possible events are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe you understand. We continue with when the coin is being tossed more than once in the next video. Thank you.